Welcome to this explainer. Today we are talking about a true unsung hero of your home. Seriously, it's the completely hidden protagonist of home maintenance, the basement floor drain. It just sits there in the concrete, quietly doing its job, asking for absolutely zero credit. But because it doesn't demand our attention like, say, a clogged gutter pouring water on your head or a squeaky door driving you crazy, it kind of becomes completely invisible to us. So today we're shining a massive spotlight on this humble little grate. We're going to uncover exactly why it gets ignored and walk through exactly what you need to do to keep it reliable.
So I want you to honestly think about this for a second. Break the fourth wall with me here. When was the exact last time you actually looked at or even bothered to check your basement floor drain? If you're drawing a total blank, trust me, you are definitely not alone. Unlike a sump pump that makes a ton of noise to let you know it's working, floor drains just sit there, covered by a dusty metal grate. We fall right into that dangerous out-of-sight, out-of-mind trap. If the basement floor is dry, we just assume the whole system is working perfectly.
And, that assumption? That is exactly where the danger lies. The experts over at Dr. Drain hit the nail right on the head. They point out that out-of-sight, out-of-mind habit can turn a routine utility into a recurring problem. This isn't just about forgetting to run a brush over something. It's about how a lack of daily attention leads to silent, invisible degradation. A floor drain's performance doesn't usually just drop off a cliff overnight. It degrades quietly, millimeter by millimeter, over months and sometimes even years of absolute neglect.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Anatomy of a breakdown. How drains silently fail. Now, understanding how things go wrong is absolutely crucial. It's the first step to preventing a massive headache later. Because drains fail so slowly, the very first threat is just simple accumulation. You might be sitting there thinking, well, I never even used my basement drain, so how on earth could it get clogged? Well, even completely unused drains accumulate incredibly fine debris. We're talking about dust from the air, soil tracked in on your shoes, tiny bits of organic material, and, of course, hair. All of this settles around the opening and slowly washes down into the plumbing. Slowly but surely, this debris chokes the drain's flow. It might seem harmless, right? But when a heavy rain hits and you suddenly need that drain to clear a massive volume of water, that restricted flow becomes a huge liability.
Let's do a quick anatomy check here and talk about a crucial piece of the puzzle, the water seal, or the drain trap. Basically, it's a U-shaped pipe that holds a small amount of water. That water acts as a literal physical barrier, actively blocking harmful, noxious sewer gases from traveling up the pipe and entering your living space. It's an incredibly simple yet brilliantly effective mechanism that is constantly working behind the scenes to protect your indoor air quality.
Now, what's really interesting is what happens when that system breaks down. The contrast is stark. When you have a healthy water seal, it completely blocks the gas. Perfect. But the second major threat is an evaporated, dry trap. Because so many basement drains aren't used regularly, the water sitting in that trap can just evaporate over time. Poof, gone. And once that water is gone, there is literally nothing stopping sewer odors, and sometimes actual dangerous gases, from seeping upward right through the grate and into your home. If your basement suddenly smells like a sewer after a long dry spell, this evaporated trap is almost always the culprit.
And that brings us to threat number 3, which honestly is probably the most deceptive of the bunch: partial outlet blockages. Your floor drains connect to your home's main drainage system or out to a municipal line. Over time, things like root intrusions from big trees outside or heavy sediment settling in the pipes can create a partial blockage deep underground. The tricky part? The drain will still let small amounts of water trickle through, so it seems perfectly fine during a dry summer, but it's just hiding down there, waiting. When a heavy storm hits, or when you're draining a huge load of laundry, that partial blockage fails miserably, leading to rapid, messy backups.
Moving right along to Section 2, the red flags, spotting the warning signs before the storm.
We've got to catch these issues before the heavy rain actually arrives, and that means shifting from ignoring the drain to actively monitoring it. According to the Dr. Drain material, there are 5 sensory red flags you need to watch, smell, and listen for. First, watch for any water pooling near the grate after light rainfall. Second, use your nose. Are there recurring musty or straight-up sewer-like odors? Third, listen closely. Do you hear weird gurgling sounds when water goes down? Fourth, are you noticing frequent clogs or visibly slow drainage? And finally, look at the grate itself. Do you see rust, dark staining, or residue buildup around the opening? Honestly, these are your drain's way of crying out for help.
I really want to emphasize this quote from the source.
If multiple signs appear at once, it's a strong indicator the drain needs attention before the next heavy rain. Seriously, if you're hearing gurgling and smelling a musty odor at the same time, you have a ticking time bomb on your hands. Take a second and mentally check your own basement right now. Have you noticed any of these compounding symptoms? If you have, it requires your immediate attention before things get really messy.
Let's move to and see how this builds into our next part. Section 3. The Defense Plan. A simple maintenance routine. The absolute best news here is that you do not need some complex, expensive setup to keep your basement floor drain functioning perfectly. You just need a practical, super low-effort routine. Here is the exact 4-step defense plan from Dr. Drain. Step 1. Clear surface debris. Just take the grate off, use a stiff brush, clean out the sediment around the opening, and rinse it thoroughly. Step 2. Check the water flow. Pour a controlled amount of water down there just to visually confirm it clears normally. Step 3. Address odors and sealing. Make sure that water seal is actually present by pouring a bucket of water down the trap periodically so it never dries out. And Step 4. Plan for seasonal heavy use. Before storm season hits, just do a quick check and clean so the system is ready for a sudden surge.
And this brilliantly illustrates how easy it is to troubleshoot. It's a quick visual reference for you. See debris buildup? Boom. Remove the grate, brush, and rinse thoroughly. Got a slow flow? Run controlled water to confirm clearance. Smelling musty odors? Go check that the water seal is present. Got a major storm approaching? Do a quick check and clean for sudden surges. This empowers you, the homeowner, to take these highly effective, totally low-effort actions first, before panicking.
But of course, there's Section 4, knowing when to surrender, when to call the professionals.
Look, while routine maintenance is absolutely crucial and it solves the vast majority of day-to-day issues, there are definitely scenarios where you just have to raise the white flag and call in a pro. If you've done your surface cleaning, you've run your tests, but you still have persistent slow drainage, call a plumber. If those foul odors keep coming back even after you've refilled the water trap, call a pro. If you suspect you have a deep blockage, like thick tree roots, or if you suspect damaged piping or connection issues underground, please do not try to fix this yourself. A licensed drainage professional has the specialized tools like video inspection cameras and high-pressure hydrojammers to identify and fix those deep root causes safely and correctly. So, after exploring the hidden anatomy of your floor drain, looking at the silent threats, the sensory red flags, and covering the simple maintenance steps, I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. Is your basement really ready for the next heavy rain? Don't let out of sight, out of mind be the reason you're dealing with a totally flooded basement. When this explainer finishes, get up, head downstairs, and inspect your neglected floor drain immediately. See you next time.